Princess Liora of the Celestian Empire had seen many strange things across the spiral arms of the galaxy, but none were quite as baffling or unimpressive as the human apprentice assigned to her diplomatic escort. His name was Jace. He wore a jacket that was 2 sizes too big, a pair of scuffed-up boots, and always looked like he'd just rolled out of a cargo crate after a rough nap. His duties were simple. He carried tea, he carried data pads, he even carried the princess's elaborate, heavy train whenever official decorum demanded it. As far as she could tell, he was utterly and completely ordinary. Humans were newcomers to the galactic stage. They were seen as fragile, unpredictable, and stubborn little things. But they had this weird reputation for being oddly useful in the most unexpected ways. Still, looking at Jace Liora, seriously doubted he could be useful to anyone except perhaps a broom closet in need of an occupant. And yet, the Imperial Council had been firm, practically unyielding. Their instructions were clear. He stays with you. At all times, Liora just figured he was some kind of political token, a symbolic gesture of goodwill. Or maybe, just maybe, the Council had a really weird sense of humor. Her mission was a critical one. The princess was on a peace mission to Vexar Prime, the formidable home world of the Karax, a species of towering, armored, razor-jointed creatures rumored to be the apex predators on not 1, but 3 continents. Officially, the negotiations were about territory and wormhole rights. Unofficially, they were about the very survival of her empire. As their diplomatic shuttle descended into the crimson canyons of the Karax capital, the docking bay hissed open. A wave of heat, dust, and something distinctly predatory washed over them. Standing there, waiting, were 8 Karax warriors. Their eyes glowed like molten stone, and their claws tapped impatiently on the metallic floor as they sniffed the air, tasting the new arrivals. Liora, every bit the Imperial diplomat, stepped forward with confidence and grace. Behind her, Jace was fumbling and struggling with her luggage. Typical. Absolutely typical. The lead Karax, a massive being named Tharnak, leaned down, his complex mandibles flexing. Princess Liora, your presence honors us, he rumbled, his voice like grinding stone. But then, his gaze shifted. Downward. Toward Jace. The apprentice froze mid-step, one suitcase dangling precariously from his hand. Tharnak inhaled sharply, a sound like a forge bellows sucking in air. And then in a move that shocked everyone present, he stepped back. So did the other 7 Karax warriors. Their heavy armored plates rattled with their sudden movement. One of them hissed, a sound of pure alarm. Another clutched its massive spear with trembling claws. Liora blinked. Jace blinked. The entire diplomatic delegation blinked. What was happening? Is something wrong? The princess asked, her diplomatic composure wavering for just a second. Tharnak's voice, when he finally spoke, had gone hoarse and tight. You bring one of them? One of who? Liora asked, completely confused. The Karax didn't answer her directly. Instead, Tharnak bowed his enormous, armored head to Jace, the same guy who once tripped over a cleaning drone and nearly caused an interstellar incident, gestured for them to proceed. The Predators, the fiercest warriors known in this sector, parted like curtains, creating a clear path. The negotiations took place in the Hall of Talons, a cavernous throne room lined with the bones of ancient, colossal megabeasts. Liora presented her case with flawless diplomacy, her arguments precise and compelling. But every time she paused for effect or to let a point sink in, she noticed something incredibly strange. The Karax didn't look at her, the Imperial Princess making the offer. Their gazes were fixed on Jace. He was sitting in a corner, sipping tea, and completely absorbed in a handheld hologram, looking for all the world like a bored teenager. Every time he took a loud slurp of his tea, the Karax warriors flinched as if struck. Liora couldn't take it anymore. During the first official break, she grabbed Jace by the sleeve and pulled him behind a massive, bone-carved pillar. What? She hissed, keeping her voice low. Did you do? Jace just shrugged, looking genuinely confused. Carried your bags? No. Why are apex predators, beings that hunt for sport, acting like spooked little pets every time you breathe too loud? I honestly don't know, he said, his expression completely earnest. Humans are kinda average in most places we go. A deep, rumbling voice spoke from right behind them. Not on our world. They both spun around. Thurnok stood there, towering over them, his mandibles lowered in what looked like submission. When your species first arrived on the galactic scene, he began, his voice solemn, we observed one of your young defeating a fully grown canyon stalker with nothing but a stick. Jace's eyebrows shot up in recognition. What do you mean, Timmy? Yeah, that video's a classic back home. It'll do the floor. We thought the stick was some advanced, disguised weapon. It was not. He continued, his tone filled with a mix of fear and awe. Then we witnessed humans falling from great cliffs and simply rising again, complaining about a few scrapes. We saw them eat foods that would melt our insides from the sheer toxicity. We saw them survive, even thrive, in environments our most hardened warlords feared to tread. And worst of all, he leaned closer, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. Your kind laughs when you're threatened. Jace scratched his cheek, thinking about it. Yeah, guess we do that. To us, Thurnok said with grim finality, you are the perfect predators. Unpredictable, unkillable, and you are cheerful while doing it. Jace just stared, looking like someone had just told him that water was an optional part of life. The princess stared at him in utter disbelief. This absolute idiot, this clumsy, tea-spilling apprentice, was a galactic nightmare. When the negotiations resumed, Liora noticed an immediate and dramatic shift. The Karoks were suddenly eager to concede on every point. The contested wormhole rights granted, the expanded trade routes. Of course, military neutrality in the sector. Absolutely, without question. And all the while, Jace was in the corner, trying to quietly open a snack bar. The crinkling of the wrapper echoing loudly in the tense silence. Each crinkle made a Karok's warrior's eye twitch uncontrollably. When the treaty was finally signed, sealing a historic peace, Thurnok approached the princess. We welcome this alliance with your great empire, he said formally. Tin Eadid. And we deeply respect your handler, my handler. Liora sputtered, indignant. Jace, overhearing this, waved cheerfully. Hey, I think she means me. No, Thurnok corrected, bowing low to Jace, a gesture of profound respect. We mean you. On the way home, aboard the shuttle, Liora slumped into her seat, just staring at Jace. He was already napping, a little trail of drool making its way down his too-big jacket. Jace, she said, poking him awake, are you secretly trained? Genetically enhanced? Are you some kind of black ops? He mumbled, half asleep. Nope. Jessica. She exhaled a long, deep breath. Jessica. Just a human, and the galaxy's most feared apex predators stepped back in fear. Liora shook her head, a reluctant smile playing on her lips. Maybe the galaxy wasn't ready for humans. Maybe, she thought, no one ever would be.